Now, there's a couple of questions that I have to ask you. They're a little personal. Are either of you homosexuals?
You mean like flaming, or?
How you doing? The point of this video is I've come up with some reasons why people aren't rising up and changing our government. Why we're not even, I don't really see enough people upset about it. There's at least a couple of reasons why I think that. I think if people knew for sure that 9/11 was an inside job, right? If they knew it for sure, they would be inclined to do something. Except there's a couple problems. One is, I think a lot of people still believe that, well, we can elect our way out of this. Oh, it was just a Republican thing or whatever. Okay? So if you do away, you have to do away with that. You have to do away with, number one, the ignorance, the idea that buildings can fall due to fire. Okay, once you understand they can't fall due to fire, then you know 9/11 was an inside job. You know. But that's not enough. Because then people are thinking, well, I mean, they're starting to rationalize, well, it was just that one regime that, it was just the Bush administration. It was, now we'll elect a Democrat and it won't be, it won't be like that anymore. So that's another thing you got to do away with. That misconception. People believe things are going to change if we elect a different elite club member. I don't know why. I mean, once you're around long enough, I've been around long enough. I was around, 30 years in, I said, wait, okay, this ain't right. Then I hit 40, I'm like, I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure. Doesn't matter who you elect. Okay, but people still want, they want to think they can do it the easy way. Elections are easy, right? All you gotta do is go to the polls, once every 4 years. Whoop-de-doo. That's easy. Do away with that misconception. Okay, see if you can do it. You get rid of those two misconceptions. Then, what's stopping people? You got to ask yourself, what's stopping people then? Okay, now they know something's wrong, and they know it transcends party lines. The parties don't even enter into it. Ooh, that's a real problem, right? That's a hard problem. Okay. Partly the reason why we're not doing anything is because it's a hard problem. And elections would be easy. But there's another thing holding us up. And that thing is that a lot of people make good money. And they don't want to rock their boat. I think that's the last hurdle. Not turtle, hurdle. They don't want to rock the boat, even if they got nothing. A lot of people, there's a certain percentage of people, even if they got nothing, they're going to say, well, what if I win the lottery or something? Then I wouldn't, would I shout then? That's what I'm wondering right now. Part of the reason I am so vocal is that I don't make a lot of money. I got no horse in this game, Is that the expression? I don't know. I don't have a dog in the race or something, a dog in the fight or whatever it is. Chicken in the pan. So I'm on the outside. I got nothing to lose. I can say it. I can say this government is printing its own money and making my life worse and killing whoever they need to kill just to get their way. So I have no hindrance. There's nothing stopping me saying something, you know. And then what about doing something? What about, I mean, there's got to be some people who listen to me watching this video who know the things I do. They believe the same way that I do. I don't have an inside job. Elections don't change anything. That means we're basically in an oligarchy. And it's not a democracy. It's not representative or whatever you want to call it. It's not what they told us it was going to be. But there's some people, right? And what are they doing? Like, it's so bad to me that I don't want to play this game anymore, even though I make very little money. And I was explaining this to a family member. I make so little money, you know, for the stress that I'm enduring at any job that I do, usually. So far. The stress level I'm enduring and the compensation for that stress, it's piss poor. Where other people, they either have a job that's stress-free and they make fair money, or they have a job that's a little stressful but they make, you know, $1 million a year. But I'm in a position where I not only don't get paid well, but it's very stressful. That's two things, you know. So there's so much of me getting taken out of me and not much given back in pay that it really cuts deep when the federal government says I need this and I need that and it just, I mean, just a couple $1,000s, and it affects me more than it would, say, a CEO or just someone who loved their job. Loved their job and they made a little more than me, or even the same amount. You see what I'm saying? So that makes me feel, in my position, like I have to do something, because it's like they're sucking the life out of me just with the taxes, and the fact that I know it's going to a corrupt, evil government. Not just any government. It's not like I dislike government. It's going to something that's evil and hates me. It doesn't even want me to be alive. Never mind happy. Why would I donate to that? Why would I pay someone to oppress me? But I can see it if you were making more money. Like I said, you don't want to rock your own boat. It makes more sense that people would, like, not be as vocal. Well, I don't really need to jump up and down about this thing, do I? You know? It doesn't hurt so much, the fact that you're giving to an evil government. An evil empire, you could call it that. It doesn't hurt so much. You don't feel so bad about it. So the less money you make, the more vocal people are probably likely to be. But the less money you make, the less free speech you have, because guess what? Money is speech. So I think that's one of the other reasons that it's not sweeping the country the outrage isn't sweeping the country. It should be. Even if you were rich. I wonder myself. Now, if I won $10 million, I wonder. Would I pay my taxes? I wonder. I wouldn't have to. I mean, I wouldn't have to make a protest and not pay my taxes because I can afford it. It's no sweat off my nose, right? Taxes are a drop in the bucket to people who have money to burn. They don't care. You know? And a lot of the people who shape the opinions in this country have a lot of money. So you can see how that kind of steers things away from protest. They have a lot of money. They don't want to rock their own boat. Paying taxes is a breeze for them, even if it's a lot, because, you know, it doesn't really cut. I mean, food costs this much. If I have $10 billion, food isn't a big deal, my food bill. But if I have, say, $2,000 a month, food's a big deal, you know, and taxes are an equally big deal. So you can see how people's excitement over this issue kind of wanes with the more money they have. And even people who don't have a lot of money, they got a job they like. It's going well. They're not going to stop paying taxes as a protest, even though paying taxes is it's like paying your enemy to help beat you up. In that, and here's why, it's like paying your enemy. The government keeps printing money over and over and over again, more and more and more, right? It goes to their friends first. So if you're at the head of the line, you're not going to rock that boat or train or whatever you call it. You're not going to rock that. You don't want that gravy train to stop. So they're off the picture, right? They're off the page. They're not going to say anything. So a lot of people pay it off just by the fact that they have a career. You know, you got to ask yourself, like engineers, architects and engineers know that the steel buildings don't fall because there's a fire in the building. Even if you crash a jetliner into it, they're not going to do that. They're not going to fall. They know that. And yet, only a percentage of them are standing up and saying that. See? Evidence right there for what I'm saying. They don't want to rock their boat. Some of these people, I assume, are retired, or whatever, so they're safe. Whatever it is that they need guaranteed is already guaranteed, and it's locked in, and so they can go ahead and speak up. But a lot of people have a career to maintain, and they don't want to lose it. Okay, so it's not really about the truth. At this stage, it isn't. If it was about the truth, we would have already tossed these jerks out. It's about convenience, basically. But anyways, back to the money train. So they keep printing money. I want to explain the minimum wage for a second. People are saying, like, the minimum wage, if they raise the minimum wage, then prices are going to go up. As if wages are what drive inflation. I don't know if everybody argues that, but wages to me don't drive inflation. First, the government prints money that doesn't need to be printed. It's just free money. They just print it. They print that into existence, and that's why the value of every dollar goes down. And everything you buy, the value of it goes up. Because the dollar's worth less and less. So everything costs more and more. That's why there is inflation. Before we went off the gold standard, there wasn't inflation. They had inflation only when the government printed extra money for wartime. That was it. Otherwise, no inflation. It's not really something that's always been around. But now we have an inflation rate, we figure 2% all the time, as if that's normal. Inflation's not normal, but I've grown up with it my whole life. I mean, we went off the gold standard in 71 or something like that, 70, 71. So basically my whole life, there's been inflation continuously, nonstop, as if it's normal. And I've actually been working long enough to feel the effects of it. When I was younger and made less in dollars per hour, I was better off than I am today. I can feel it. I had a higher standard of living in 85, 86, 87 than I do now. That's ridiculous. People are still making $7, $8 an hour. And it's worthless. You know? So they keep printing the money, right? And, okay, here we go. Okay, here's wages over here, and here's prices over here. Okay? Because they keep printing money, prices go up and up and up and up. But everybody keeps wages still because they can get away with it, right? So they keep wages still and keep wages still. And then the government says eventually, okay, well, we got to do something. So they raise the minimum wage up to here. They never get back to where they should be. They just raise it up a little bit. Okay, and then the prices go up and up and up and up. So we're always losing. Then bring it up a little bit, and it never gets back to the same relationship. We're always falling back, falling back, falling back. So even if they raise the minimum wage, they're not even going to catch the inflation, and we're not going to be back to where we were. So it's never going to be that the wages are what's causing inflation. So you got to know that. Don't, you can argue with me. Come on, I'm not going to argue with you. So I'm working. A lot of us are working harder for less. And so now I want to tackle the argument that, well, you should just get an education. But another thing is, even the jobs that you're getting educated for are losing and losing and losing over time. So naturally, yeah, you want to get educated and have a better skill set or whatever. But even if you jump up to a higher paying career, it has already lost lots of money, lots of value. They're getting paid less already before you even jumped into that career. And there's fewer and fewer of those openings now anyway. So if we're all educated, somebody's still going to have to swab the toilets. So that's not really a good argument. Really what we need to do is get rid of these crazy people who print money out of thin air for their friends. Okay, get rid of that, and then we can have fair markets and, a normal system. And we certainly don't need a giant, insane government. Another thing, the government is the biggest employer. That's not right. If it was the case, to me, if it was the case that the government, the jobs the government had were like building bridges or something like that, something useful, then I'm all for that, but that makes more sense. But what we have is a lot of paper pushers, useless positions. It's just a lot of jobs for nothing. We have a lot of government for no reason. And a lot of people are in the military. We don't need them in the military, I don't think. So let's just do a thought experiment. If we just took those people and say, look, you don't have a job now. I don't have the lights. You don't have a job now. Okay? Now that's a lot of people out of work. That's not good, right? But the thing is, we've made so much productivity gains that if you just take the total amount of work that needs to be done, it doesn't take every human in the country to do it. It just takes a few people to do it. What if we could get everybody involved, like everybody who wants to work and is able to do something? How long would they have to work per week? So everyone had a job and everyone had income. How long would they have to work per week? Like 8 hours to work one day, right? A week? We've got these factories that, that's half robots. So it's just going to get worse and worse. The productivity gains, Pretty soon we'll be checking out our own groceries and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So we're not sharing in the productivity gains. There's just more of us to fight for fewer jobs. So, but making up jobs through the government isn't the answer either, in my opinion. See what I'm saying? We got to do something else, like say, look, there's so much work to do, and we'll just divvy it up. And okay, it's worked out that it takes this whole group of people per person 8 hours a week. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't you like to work 8 hours a week? I mean, literally, we could do it. We could do that. Wouldn't that be like being wealthy? Even if you have to work the shittiest job, the most stressful job, it's only 8 hours a week. Right? I'd clean toilets 8 hours a week. And have a living wage, or, and then beyond that, maybe, do some arts and crafts or whatever, sell something on the side or what? You imagine all the time everybody would have to do other things and make extra money on the side. I mean, that'd be way better. But no, we don't do it like that. We want all you people out there to compete for the same. Let's say there's 10 jobs. We want 1,000 of you people. There's 1,000 people, 10 jobs. We want you to compete for it. All right? That's what we want. And then the rich people sit on the sidelines because they get free money. That's what's happening. They get free money. You know that, right? You don't know that? Oh, that's another thing you got to know. You need to know that they get free money. They print it up out of thin air. Bankers do, and the Federal Reserve does. And whether the Federal Reserve and the government are, symbiotic, it doesn't matter. Because they're both corrupt. Like some people say that the Federal Reserve only gets a percentage of its profits and the rest it has to give to the Treasury. Even if that's true, what does the Treasury spend its money on? It spends it on like bombs and whatever goods and services its rich friends provide. That's what it spends. It just goes out the door again. So it's just a vicious cycle. It goes to rich people, basically. Nothing against rich people, but if we all pitched in and did 8 hours of work, we could all be rich. But no, we're all going to fight for our 12-hour days. I want my 12-hour job 5 days a week. I'm going to fight for that. I want to keep that. You know what I mean? We're all holding on to what we got, even though it's shitty and getting worse. But people don't want to see that it's getting worse. And it's getting worse because people in the government are evil and want to be rich all the time. But you just want to keep holding on to your shittiness and not let go for something better for everyone. I got my shittiness, you get your own shittiness. But you can let go and we can all have a great time. That's what I'm saying. That's some of the reasons why this madness is still holding on. People don't want to give up the garbage that they got, even though it's getting worse. Oh, it's a long video. Okay, good day.
Sergeant, does this mean we're through for the day?
Save your strength, Sergeant.
Yeah.
Get it off, Sergeant! Get it off!